Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Move podcast. Today, we have a special edition of the Move podcast, the first in a series of 6. We will call it the Move with Legends, and you will see in a little bit why we have chosen this name for our mini-series. 6 podcasts over the course of the next 3 months. I'm Johan Bruyneel, talking with you from Madrid, and on the other side of the pond, a very early good morning to my co-host, George Hincapie. George, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Johan. I'm good. I'm excited. I'm excited about this show.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's logistically it was a bit difficult because we have people on every side of the world. But anyway, thanks for making the effort to wake up so early. What is it, 6 o'clock in the morning for you?
Yeah, I got to take the kids to school in 45 minutes, so not a big deal.
Okay, cool. Let's get straight into it. The Move with Legends, special, a new format we have here. And as I said, every 2 weeks we will come with one of those editions. And the first edition of the Move with Legends is, it's very special to me. Somebody who I personally think is the legend of the last decade in pro cycling. To name a few of his accomplishments, and it's gonna be difficult because there's so many. But to just name a few: 3 times world champion, Tour of Flanders winner, Paris-Roubaix winner, 7 times winner of the green jersey in the Tour de France, 121 victories in professional cycling. We're honored to have the presence of the one and only Peter Sagan. Peter, welcome to the Move, and thank you very much for giving us your valuable time. I know you're busy, and you're also on the other side of the world. You're in Tokyo, right?
In Tokyo. Hello, everybody.
Peter,
it's very pleasure. It's very pleasure for me to being in the podcast, and it's nice.
Okay. Well, anyway, George and you were George, at the end of your career, I think you shared a few races or a few seasons with Peter, right?
Yeah, I'll never forget. I think I did one of your first pro races, Peter, was in Tour Down Under. Were you with
Tour Down Under? Yeah.
2010, and everybody was already talking a lot about you as a junior. Obviously, you had an amazing career, but we all know the difference. You go from junior to pros, and it's a whole different ball game. But what I noticed right away from you, what stood out is you took your spot in the peloton, and it doesn't matter who it was. Nobody could move you out of the way. You were confident. You came in ready to fight. So talk to us and our viewers about your mentality coming from your junior career to the pros. Like, you had no fear. You were full of confidence. That's pretty rare, especially in those days in 2010. Talk to us how you got there, a little bit about your junior career, and walk us through your first pro race. It'd be fun for our viewers to learn about that.
Yeah, well, it was very special year for me, 2010, because I was the first time in professional cycling. And as maybe you know that I always did mountain biking and road biking. When I was junior, I tried to do also cyclocross, just maybe to get some easy medal on the World Championship, because the competition on the cyclocross was a little bit less, and I made second place in cyclocross. Then first year junior, I was 4th in World Championship in on the road. It was in Aguascalientes in Mexico.
Yeah.
And then as a junior, I got world champion. I was world champion winner on mountain bike, and that's why I was thinking my future is more on the mountain bike, not on the road. But when I was under 23, I was dealing already with the quick step. But I did some first testing as the young guy and as a junior. And they told me, we are going to watch you, but you still have to wait 1 more year because you are not ready for professional cycling. And the same time, I was dealing with Liquigas also, and they were much more open, and they opened my way. That they took me in Liquigas pharma, like for young guys. Then I did for under 23 preparation in Italy in the winter, and then I started racing in Italy and in Croatia, in Slovenia, Poland, and I won some stages. And after 1 year of under 23, they told me like if I would like to come for like in prof team, and I said, well, I'm gonna try for sure. This offer I cannot miss. And after we will see if I am not good or something, I can always turn back in mountain bike. But in the end, all my career was on the road. And I have to say, I'm very happy what I did on the road.
I would say
Yeah.
so. But what was it like when you were where you grew up in your hometown? I mean, would you train full time every day? Like your life was centered around cycling, mountain bike, cyclocross, all those disciplines, or did you do a lot of cross training, other sports? What was your
Well, as a kid, yes, I always took cycling like not like game, but kind of fun,
Mhm.
When I was 13, I wanted to stop with mountain bike, road bike, and I wanted to focus for downhill. And I wanted to do downhill, but after my father saw how dangerous is downhill, we were in one race close to my hometown for downhill race, and when he saw them, he said, "You are never going to do downhill. Like you can stop with cycling, but the downhill, I'm not going to buy you downhill bicycle."
Smart man.
And
Peter,
and after I turned, yeah.
Yeah, Peter, I remember 2010 when you came on the scene of professional cycling with Paris-Nice. I was a director still with, I think, Radio Shack probably, and I remember being in the car, and one of the early stages, it was supposed to be a bunch sprint, and all of a sudden they said, winner of the stage, Liquigas, Peter Sagan. You won 2 stages as a 20-year-old in Paris-Nice in that first year. And from then on, basically, you've been winning and winning and winning and winning. Now almost 15 years later, right? Or 13 years later, if you look back on how you started as a junior, already super successful, as you said, world champion, second in the world in cyclocross, second in Paris-Roubaix.
Yeah.
I think you were also in as a junior.
Yeah.
Then having this career of winning year after year after year, would you have ever imagined, if you look now back, that your career would have been so long and so successful? Because 121 victories in pro cycling is something that every cyclist or ex-cyclist can only dream of. So how do you feel, and would you have ever thought this would have been possible?
No, in this question, no. How I told you before, I never thought about I gonna finish on the road. I always wanted to do mountain bike, and I never saw myself on the road bicycle because, well, for me it was always boring, like training on the road. I needed to train on the road bicycle for mountain biking, and I always had a mountain bike soul inside of me. But no, also my coach, when I was junior, he told me like, "Oh man, you are going to do big cycling on the road, but you are never gonna be that good as in mountain bike. Like you are mountain biker, you are not road biker." And after I show him that he sets mistakes, But definitely, no, I couldn't imagine in that time that I'm going to make such a career what I did.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so unique. I mean, if yesterday I was going through your palmares, and I had difficulties to really pick the main the main victories. There's so many, but if I ask you, out of all your biggest victories, is there one specific one that sticks out does have a special meaning? Is there one specific one that you say, okay, this is really what brought me the biggest satisfaction?
I think it was the very important victory in my life. It was the World Championship in Richmond. Because after first one, like without one, you cannot have two, and without two, you cannot have three.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that was my most important victory in my career, the cycling career.
So, and Peter, that's also one of my personal favorites of your win. I was actually there. I rode the course just as a fan. And actually, Greg Van Avermaet, which was one of your biggest competitors at the time, stayed at my house right here for a week training for that World Championships. So obviously I was rooting for Greg, and he was right on your wheel on that last time up. One thing I want to break that down a little bit. We didn't see you the entire race, and you're one of the only riders that can do that, where you don't even see where Peter Sagan is until the last 4 or 5K when it really matters. But talk about like your mentality, your strategy, because obviously you had a team, but they weren't one of the best teams in the race that day. You had to take a lot of risks because you had nobody chase down breakaways. You had to rely on everything coming into that final hill. So once you realize, okay, we're still together here, is this exactly the way the race played out? And not only that, but at the top of the hill, you didn't really even have a gap. You had like 2 seconds, which with Boston Hagen right behind you, Greg Van Avermaet, one of the best riders in the world, within a couple seconds of you, and then the peloton right behind that, but you kept going. You had the super tuck position going down that hill. I just cannot imagine the pain your legs were going through at that moment. But walk us through the strategy of the race, like early on, what you were thinking, and then leading up to that final climb, which was one of the best attacks in cycling history, in my opinion.
Well, I think the story of winning first World Championship is far back, because I started to believe like I was winning the stages in the World Tour races and stuff. And I tried to be always good in World Championships, and starts to be in 2010 in Australia, in Melbourne. And I always want to win, but I put always too much pressure on myself, and I always finish badly. And that year, when I was like year by year, I wanted to win. I wanted to win World Championships, but it was always like too much pressure on me. And, after I did a lot of mistakes, or I had bad day and stuff like that. And after, I have to say, I started to think oppositely, like it doesn't matter. I already had a good season. And 2015, I did Vuelta, and I had bad crash with the motorcyclists that they hit me from the back, and I crashed really badly. And after that crash, I went home, and directly I went to America for altitude training camp, and I started to prepare for a World Championship. But mentally, I was already like, well, I'm gonna go to altitude, and we will see how it's going. First of all, I have to recover from the crash. And after I start to do some kilometers, they also invite me for the Canada Classics if I want to race. But in the same time, I had to have permission from Vuelta, because Vuelta was still going on. And I said, no, I don't want to race anymore. Like it's almost the finish of the year. I didn't train well because 1 week I was almost without bicycle after the crash. And I am not ready for Canada. And we will see. I'm going to go to Richmond for team time trial, but I didn't think I can win World Championship. For me also, like, it wasn't matter like how it's going. In the time trial, the team crashed. I stayed on the bike with another guy, but everyone crashed. That the team time trial was done. And I said, we will see how it's going. And directly in Richmond, the first lap, it was a big split of the group, like bunch broke in, I don't know, 10 groups in the first lap. And I was in the last group. I said, well, Then after one lap, everything is done. Maybe I'm gonna continue another 3 laps, and after I go down. And after, well, everything's all the bunch stick together again. And I said, well, I don't think so. I am in good condition. Then I have to start to save some energy. And every time when we went in that 2 hills with cobblestones, I always took them in the top 10, top 15. But after 2 climbs, I was always lost. Then during the circuit on the flat and in the downhill, I again jumped to the front. And for the section of the hills, I again enter in top 15, top 20, but never first one. And I did all the laps like this, like I saying, saving energy.
Saving energy basically all the time.
Saving energy. And we will see how it's going last lap. Because I said, for sure, it's going to come maybe 20, 30 riders to the finish. That climbs, it was not that hard. I think that it's going to be some split. And in the end, I said, okay, last lap, I'm not going to save because that is too risky. I have to be in the front. And for the first section of the cobblestones in climb, I enter maybe in top 10. And directly from that, it was downhill, 2-3 turns. And after we went in that decisive climb where I attack, and I said, okay, I try. If I'm going to have pain, everybody behind going to have pain because for sure we are going to be long, like everybody in the line. Then after in the downhill, if I'm going to be in the front, I'm not going to risk some crash in the back. Then definitely I'm going to try to be in the front and we'll see what's going to happen. And when I saw that we stays in the top, because the cobblestones finish, and Greg Van Avermaet and Bas van Hagen, they were just behind me.
Yep.
But the climb still continuing a little bit uphill. Yep. I said, push much more. I cannot stay with like in 3, we cannot stay. Or I going alone, but in 3 it's not going to work because nobody going to work with me. And I try to push a little bit more, and after it starts to be gap 2, 3, 4 meters. And as you see, they stay in 2, and they didn't come to the finish because you know how it's in the breakaway. Like they always wanting to save, for the final. When you are alone, you can only push. It's only one chance. And in the end was good. But I have to say I didn't realize pain in my legs in that climb, but in the last climb. In the last climb, I really feel it.
Yeah, that was a 1 kilometer, pretty, like, not very steep, but still very, you could just see in your legs, you were getting out of the saddle, just looking for every piece of energy that you had. It was an amazing finish. I want to interrupt you for one quick second because a lot of our viewers don't understand when you were saying throughout the day, you would start the climb in the front and then go to the back. But what people don't understand is most cyclists, they go to the back, they're going to go on the side of their peloton, and they're going to go in the wind and get to the front and burn energy. You were one of the very few cyclists that you can go from the back to the front without burning any energy through the middle of the peloton, in the wheels, finding the holes. And that's a very unique ability to have. And talk about that because everybody's good in pro cycling. The levels are amazing. We all know it's who can save the most energy throughout the day. And you were like, it was like a video game for you. You'd be from the back to the front without spending any energy with the best cyclists in the world, just finding the holes and surfing his way through the peloton, which is an art form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. But the thing is, that's why I liked to race on the circle or on the circuit, because you could manage in first 2 laps. You saw the lines where you can go in the front, where you can save energy. Like, okay, be calm here, and this is the point you have to go in the front, and this is the point that it's possible to go in the front also in the middle of the peloton, because if you don't know where to going, then it's hard.
Yeah.
But on the circuit, it's much better when you see 2 laps, and you can see how peloton is moving, how riders are moving in peloton, where is the gap, where you can take more speed, and you are not going to disturb somebody. But on the circuit is much more easier.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised, George, when somebody like Peter explains, how simple they make it sound. Like, okay, I saw these guys, I just had to push harder on the pedals. I mean, we all know that that's not the case, at least not for people who have raced and probably didn't have the talent of a Peter Sagan. But Peter, I just want to, if we look at your accomplishments, 3 consecutive world titles, very unique, on 3 different terrains: Richmond, Doha, Bergen in Norway, then Tour of Flanders 2016, Paris-Roubaix 2018, winning in the World Champions jersey. You had this period of complete domination in one-day races. From the outside, to me, it seemed like you were almost invincible in those kind of races. How did that feel for you? Did it also feel that you were the dominator, and that when everything went right, you were actually going to win those races? Explain a little bit to us and to the viewers. How does it feel from your point of view to be in that position?
Well, that's also one thing. What I told before, the most important victory for me was Richmond, also in my career, because from that victory, I learned how to handle the pressure, stress, of expectation and stuff. And I wanted to win. I wanted always winning the race. I never wanted to be, or at least if I don't gonna win, I want to be protagonist in the front. If I gonna lose first place for 2 centimeters or 1 minute, it doesn't matter. But I did my best. I did a show for people, and after Richmond, I started to winning also important races as Flanders and Paris-Roubaix, because I didn't got it in my head that is important race. I wanted to race like, we will see, it's going to be a good show, but it's very hard to win. And it's not like now you are going to make stress to yourself or pressure on yourself that you are going to change something. Tomorrow is going to be how it's going to be. For sure, I have to be focused. I'm strong enough. I already did, preparation, Tirreno Adriatico, and always I was coming with some victory. A lot of times I was second in Milan-San Remo. What was also, I didn't have luck in Milan-San Remo, because a lot of time I lose it from my race style, I think, that I wanted to make more show than to play for victory.
Hey, it's me, JB. I hope you're enjoying the Move Legends. I'm just going to jump in here for a second, because I'm going to tell you about a new partner of ours that you are going to be very interested in, because you're bike obsessed like I am. You probably have a garage full of bikes. Some need to go, and you probably want to bring some new fun stuff in. Well, Bicycle is the answer to that. BUYCYCLE.com. They have solved a problem for all of us. They've given us an incredible marketplace. And if you go on their site today, you'll see an inventory of 15,000 bikes for whatever you want. They've solved this problem of giving us a good place where bikes have been collected, vetted, inspected, some even certified, and you can save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars getting the bike you always wanted, selling the bike you're no longer using as much as you used to, or maybe it's just, time to move on to something else, and you could sell it online and swap it out. When you do sell, this is super cool. They'll send you the box, the packaging, hold your hand through the whole process. And when you buy, it's so easy to go on and pick the style of bike you want, the brand. If you want to go that far, you can pick the drivetrain. Do you want electronic? Do you want mechanical? Do you want disc brakes? Do you want rim brakes? all of these options are in there. And so once you, in the bike size, so once you go through there and you're like, check, boom, a whole page, if not more, of inventory that fits you perfectly on the bike you always wanted will pop up. So whether you're buying or selling, this is where things are heading, folks. It's great. And the amount of inventory from all over the world will blow your mind. It's super, super cool. For a limited time, you can save up to $100 on your purchase by entering the code THEMOVE, all caps, one word. THEMOVE, all caps, one word. At checkout, it'll save you $100. Follow them on Instagram, buycycle.com, BUY cycle, CYCLE _com. Give them a follow on Instagram and go check out their site today. You'll be addicted to it. It'll be your new guilty pleasure just to hang out on that site and look for your dream bike and sell yours if that's what you want to do, or do both. All right. Check it out. Buycycle.com, BUYCYCLE.com. You'll thank me later.
It's probably also, Peter, once you get to that dominant position in those one-day races, you are such a favorite. And, I think Milan-San Remo is probably one of the best examples. If you are the favorite, you can try to make the difference on the Poggio, but then how do you find collaboration until the finish? And I think that's obviously the price you had to pay from being that big favorite. So to me, it's always so admirable how people like you, who are the big favorite, and still manage to win those races when you know that everybody wants to race against you, that you're not going to find any collaboration. So I think that's, George, back me up here. That's probably what sets apart the really big champions from just the good cyclists, right?
Well, being able to stay calm under pressure, being able to not lose confidence. I think since we were on the Worlds team, and I know we don't have much time with you, but Doha, for instance, Qatar, you barely made that split. You were the last person to make the split with the best teams in the world, Britain and Belgium, putting it down in the crosswind, only 40 guys left. You jumped across, made that split. That was a winning move right there. And you still won against Mark Cavendish, the best sprinter of all time, and Tom Bonin. And then also Norway, you were sick. You didn't even ride the week before. And you don't see you the whole day. And then all of a sudden pop up. Just incredible.
In Bergen, I was prepared well. And I was sick in 3 days before Bergen. I did long rides, like 3 days before the race. I always did a long ride. And after we eat something in the training, in a boulangerie, or in grocery shop. And during the night, I started to vomit all night, and I didn't sleep. And day later, I was flying to Bergen. I didn't touch bicycle for Friday, Saturday, because I was totally empty. I said, if I have to keep some energy, it's better just to eat some carbs and don't even touch the bicycle. And again, that's the victory that I said I cannot win World Championships. I know how hard it is, and everything needs to went well. And it was I couldn't imagine that I gonna win, because but I was prepared well, because I think if I'm not sick, maybe I'm going to demonstrate everyone that I am the best one, and maybe the race is going to be different way.
Mm-hmm.
But that I was sick, maybe I was in lower level, and I was in this safe mode, save energy mode for a whole race. Mm-hmm. And after, in the end, I won for 1 centimeter against Christoph. And about Doha, that was also a surprise that I won that year Flanders. I won another green jersey in Tour de France. I didn't win the stage, I think, 2016. I don't remember, but I did few years that I didn't win stage in Tour de France. And I said for Doha, it's not parkour for me. It's going to be all sprinters, or it's going to be bunch sprint with the Greipel, Cavendish, Bonin. And I said, it's always lottery, like, what am I going to do there? But again, I did good preparation. I was in altitude. After I was preparing myself in altitude for Olympic Games in mountain bike. And after I turned back to Europe, and I had, after Tour de France, Olympic Games, but I had a very busy schedule. I had like 1 week rest. And after 1 week rest, I got sick. Then for 2 weeks, I had like easy, like I was recovering from the sickness. And after I started to do bicycle again, but I think the preparation, what I did for mountain bike, helps me with a lot of things that I came directly for Eneco Tour. I won, I think, 2-3 stages in Eneco Tour. Then I won European Championship in that year. And I said, wow, I already won a lot of things. Why I have to win also World Championship? Like I well,
So
won it
basically,
last year. And it's going to be better parcours next year that I don't have to be everywhere. And that's why everybody was, they specialized for, we are going to Doha, it's going to be 45 degrees. We are going 2 weeks before to get used to hot weather. And they just stay there, but it's nowhere to train because in the end, you are outside, you are on the flat, you can train in the wind and stuff. But, well, I said, you are going to burn your mind if you are going to train in Doha. And you are going to be burned out already before World Championship. And I said to Lomba, no? Lomba, I'm going to come to Doha like 3 days before World Championship. I don't want to stay there. I'm going to stay with my family. And we will see how it's going. In the end, it's going to be band sprint, like what we are going to do. But I was confident because in the races, what I did before, I won a lot of stages and European Championships, Eneco Tour stuff. Then I just went there and we will see what's going to happen. For me, it's going to be some kind of lottery and like we will see. And in the end, like I missed the first breakaway that the Belgium guys split the peloton. And well, I was the last one who crossed over to first group. And after it was most easy World Championships what I did because after we just stay on the wheel and well, I sprint the last sprint what was like last 300 meters but
Yeah.
in the end I was focused last kilometer that and I was joking all the time during the race. A lot of times I took the feeding bag but I strapped the thing. The feeding bank is just broken.
Yeah.
Then a lot of laps also I didn't have something to drink or something. And I was laughing like, well, we will see how it's going to finish. And in the end, it was also lottery because if Nizzolo is going to move a little bit to the right, and he's going to close my line.
Yeah.
And everything could be over. But he was, very fair in that way that he didn't move to the fence.
Yeah, Peter, we've talked about a lot about one-day races. Let's go back to 2012, your first participation in the Tour de France, and you win 3 stages in your first Tour de France, and you win the green jersey, the first of. I mean, you did this 7 times, which is unbelievable. I would like you to explain to our audience a little bit what it takes. You know, you have the Peter Sagan Classics one-day racer, and you have the Peter Sagan Tour de France stage winner, but above all, record 7-time green jersey winner. What does it take of a cyclist and his mentality to do this year after year after year? And how stressful is it compared to just being a stage hunter, having to go for that classification, which basically, you know, there was a time where the green jersey was Peter Sagan and the green jersey were one. There was no other rider who was supposed to be in that jersey. So the pressure it brings to you and how is different the way of racing to go for a classification like that.
Well, it's I don't know if it is more stressful than 1 day races, but depends, because it's more stressful because it is during 21 days, 1 day race is stressful for the moments that today is going to finish everything, but you have to be more focused in the race because it's small roads. You have to put yourself in the front position. After it could be some crashes, stuff that you have to deal with and turn back. In the stage race, it's more about, you are in the race circus that is going on every day. But the race is, the stages are shorter because classics are 260 kilometers, 270, Milan-San Remo is 300. In the Tour de France, you can have maximum 220 sometimes, but normally they are always 200 kilometers. Normally, maybe one stage you can have cobblestones, but mostly you are racing only on the road. Some days you can find climbs. Then for me, if it's long climb, I could relax, going to Gruppetto. But also for me, sometimes was very important when was small hills or steep hills that make good stage for the points. Because sometimes I didn't even win the stage in Tour de France and I won a green jersey. And in that point, for me, the hardest one, what I won, it was first one, 2012. I was against Matthew Goss or Michael Goss. No, Matthew Goss.
Matthew Goss.
Matthew Goss. And he was pretty strong that year. And he was also climbing well. A lot of stages, I tried to drop him in the climb. But when I did it, he pushed all the team in the front that they chased me on the flat. And that was pretty hard to just, because he was also fast. He did track before that he was pretty fast in the sprint. And I was very worried about that year. It was 2012, nothing's going to happen if I lose green jersey 2012 because I was first time in Tour de France. But for me, it was important that I am so close for green jersey. And, that was the, I think, hardest one for me.
Mm-hmm.
And after, the year after year, I don't want to say it was easier, but every year was different. I have different competitors. Some years I was lucky in first 10 days. I did that much point that all the sprinters and guys, they said, okay, it's yours. Then every year was different. Yeah. And especially 2012, I had Lomba made a bet with the president of Liquigas about his Porsche. If I'm going to win 2 stages in Tour de France and green jersey, he's going to give me his Porsche.
No way.
Then that was also in the bet for Tour de France that was important for me.
Yeah, that's a good motivation. That's a really, really good motivation.
Hey, Johan, I think we shouldn't take too much more time, Peter, but
yeah.
Well, I have 2 questions for you. One, I was still racing 2010 with you for a couple of years. Talk about the biggest changes you've seen since 2010 till now. It seems like they race full gas from kilometer zero. Everything is measured. Calories are measured. Nutrition is perfect on the best teams. You've been in the peloton the last 13 years. Talk about the biggest differences you've seen.
It's I wanted to tell it already before. You told me everything looks easy, how I going to get in the front of the peloton and stuff. But it was much more easier when I was 20s than now. Now I finding also a lot of difficulties with young riders. Okay, last 2 years, they are taking too many risks, from the start of the stage until the finish. They are racing from the start until the finish. It's you cannot even stop for take a piece, on the side of the road. You have to from the bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something what when I see, I start to be nervous
Yeah.
about that. Like, guys, just decide, breakaway is gone, and then just we can stop. No, we are going. Then another thing is, if the breakaway is gone, I don't know, when you were racing, George, they took maybe 10 minutes, and everybody knows when we are going to collaborate with 3 teams, we are going to catch them.
Yeah.
Now, if they have 2 minutes, 3 minutes is maximum, and they are keeping them 2.5 minutes all day, and it's not sure we are going to catch them. I don't know how it's possible. Maybe the material, or they are more aerodynamics, or I don't know, because it's just my brain is not taking it. I don't know how it's possible, but it's happened in Tour de France a lot of time. We had the breakaway of 3 people in the front, 4 people, 4 riders, and they had all day 2 minutes. And we were always like 2 minutes, 2.5, 2 minutes, 2.5, and we didn't catch them. In the end, they came with 5 seconds in the front.
That's funny.
And
we always say we don't understand new cycling anymore. It's not like we could predict it like before. It's exactly what you said.
Me either.
Yeah.
Me either. Like, I don't know, but I'm telling you, I found the last 2 years, I found a lot of difficulties in peloton and how to race, and a lot of times I got nervous about what they are doing is no sense. You know, for example, we were in Gruppetto this year in Tour de France, and it happened also last year. And I said, like, we were like 70 riders in Gruppetto. It was last climb. We had a good time. It was no rush or no stress for a time limit. Everything was under control. And last kilometer of the climb, after was a very like dangerous downhill, a lot of turns and stuff. And when you are 70 riders in the front, you have to think about everybody are in the line.
Yeah.
Like, don't sprint like crazy from the turn, because everything is going to be like elastic, right? And they are taking last kilometer of the climb. It was like 15 kilometers climb or something. Last kilometer of the climb, all the climb we did 350 watts, 300 watts, 350 watts. Last kilometer, they starts to go 450, 500, 600. And in the top of the climb, I was, guys, are you crazy? We are pushing 700 watts for what? Like, what for? Like, why? To take position. And what you are going to do if you are going to be first? That what you are going to split the Gruppetto, or what you are going to do? Oh well, I enter in the downhill. First 5 guys I let go, and I said behind me, guys, we are going easy down. Like, why somebody has to crash like 5 days before finish Tour de France?
Yeah,
hey, we are going easy. We are going to catch them on the flat. Oh well, yeah, okay. Then I was first in Gruppetto, making pace in downhill, that everybody are comfortable, also the guys in the back. I was like, it's crazy. And the first 5 guys in the front, 2 of them, they crashed. And I said, like, what for?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Peter, last question, then we'll let you go. You're 33 years old now. You announced your plans for mountain biking. Can you explain to our audience a little bit more what the future holds for Peter Sagan, both on the bike and off the bike, when you eventually retire? Do you have any plans? Yeah, I mean, I know you have a 6-year-old son.
I don't like if somebody say, oh, well, what are you doing now when you are retired? I said, I have even more work and training than before, because I have to learn a lot of things. If I'm going to continue with mountain biking, you know, the changes, what is happening on the road is happening also in mountain bike. And I last 15 years, I lost mountain bike completely. You know, the circuits of the mountain bike, they are more technical. The bicycle, they are using much more now, the full suspension bicycle. They changed the wheels from 26 to 29. They are using the telescopic seat posts and stuff. And I have to learn all these things, you know, technically, how it's working, and I have to ride mountain bike much more, especially in the downhill and technical things that and still working on my endurance and performance, what I have to do on mountain bike, because mountain bike is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Then I still cannot say that I retired, because I still have to work hard for if I want to achieve what I want to achieve to come. My goal is to go for Olympic Games in Paris on mountain bike. Then I have to work hard. It's not easy.
Yeah. And now hours on the bike, what is that going to translate to? Like, obviously on the road bike, you're doing, 5, 6, 7 hour rides. Is it the hours less now on the mountain bike, or similar training?
Yeah, but you have to, like, I think you have to put much more gym, the coordination and the core training, what you have to do, and jumps, maybe some, walking also, maybe running.
Yeah.
And definitely some ride what could be the long ride, maybe 4 hours. But on the mountain bike, you can ride, I think, maximum 2 hours. If you are going like to do some specific exercises or training, then you are burned out of energy after 2 hours, and you cannot go full gas every day. Then sometimes I have to go also like two times per week. I think I'm gonna go on the road bike for sure.
Yeah.
But it's different. Like the preparation for mountain bike, it's now they are specializing, in mountain bike. You have specialists that they are doing only mountain bikes, and maybe some road race for preparation, because on the road you take different rhythm of the pedaling,
Yeah.
Then definitely I have to do also some small races on the road, but the intensity and the calendar of the races, I'm gonna be a lot of time out of home, as well next year than this year. For sure, it's different effort, because you are doing 1 race or 2 races per week. But out of home, I'm gonna be very often for sure.
That's amazing.
Okay, Peter. Well, we thank you very much for your time. It's been a real honor and a privilege. Have fun in Japan, whatever you're doing over there. Do you have a race? Do you still have a race there, or a criterium? Or
we did the criterium in Singapore. 2 days ago in it was Sunday. Yeah. And this Sunday, what is coming, we have criterium in Saitama.
Okay.
Then that's the last criterium, and after that I turning back to Europe, and I gonna have first training camp on the mountain bike, and first training camp with the team in Montpellier. Is official training camp, and the season is almost starting.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you very much, Peter, and we wish you all the best for the future, and hopefully speak again soon.
Yep, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
In Paris. We'll be watching.
It was a pleasure for me.
Okay.
Say hello to Lance.
Yeah, we will.
We will. Okay. Bye-bye.
Ciao, guys.